everybody. Time for the Schreiner Coaches Show here on a Wednesday, the first Wednesday of October. Fall is officially underway, and we are back at Ringo's on the River. You know where it is, right here on Junction Highway in Kerrville. So come on out. We'll be here for the next hour. They have dollar wings. I said wings. That's all you need. They got cold beer, and we're going to be talking Schreiner Football. We're going to have some volleyball highlights. We're going to feature one of the programs at Schreiner that's really interesting. It's the Aviation program. You can come to Kerrville, learn how to be a pilot, learn how to fly a plane right here in the Texas Hill Country. Athletic Director Bill Raleigh is going to join us at the half hour, and we'll be as always talking to Keith Allen, the head football coach of the Schreiner Mountaineers, as they are off to a terrific start with their developmental team. And we're also going to keep up with the volleyball score. The volleyball team has won 5 games in a row. They're off to their best start in school history. They've never been 3-0 in conference play. They're playing a non-conference road game in Georgetown against Southwestern right now, and they're up 2-0. So they've won the first 2 sets, going for another 3-0 straight set sweep, which would be their 8th of the season in 11 wins. So we'll be doing all that in the next hour right here at Ringo. My name is Ted Davis, and Keith Allen is with us again.
Absolutely.
So, hello. Since we last talked, you have played another developmental game.
Correct.
And you went to Belton, and you played the Mary Hardin Baylor JV. Now, that is a better JV team than most people think, because Mary Hardin Baylor is one of the best Division III football programs in the country. They've won 2 national championships. They've actually won 3, but they had a little problem with one.
A little bit of a problem.
And they took it away, so they can only claim 2, but they have won it 3 times. So their JV team is pretty good.
Right.
And you went in there, and you got a 38-25 win on the road. So what did you see?
Well, you know, the biggest thing is when you get to play a high-caliber opponent, number one was we got to see their facilities. You know, it was my first time ever being in Belton and seeing what it was all about. And you walk into those facilities, they're by far the best D3 facilities out there. And you know, we're going against a team that got to obviously recruit their freshman class.
Yeah.
And we recruited our freshman class, but it just happened to be after signing date. And, you know, so we go into this game, and not very many people gave us a lot of hope to win. And, you know, I told our kids from the start, was like, don't spot anybody, anything, just because of the color of their helmet and the logo on the side. You know, don't spot up anything. Make them earn everything. And, you know, we preached all week that week and this is what we preach every week. It's never about who we play. It's always about how we play. And so it takes the focus away from the other team. How can we execute? How can we play our style of football? And, you know, the game, travel-wise, was great. We got there. Everything was great. First play of the game, you know, we opening kickoff, touchback. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves. They got to march 75 yards. First play, they run an out and up, touchdown.
75-yard touchdown.
75 yards. First play of the game. The PA announcer goes, and with 14:48 left on the clock, your Crusaders are up 7-0, and he kind of chuckles. and I knew immediately, you know, one of 2 things was fixing to happen, you know. And our kids choose, you know, they're either going to choose fight or flight. And our kids fought. And, you know, at the end of the first half, it was 14-7 minute. The other touchdown was a pick 6 by us. You know, we threw a pick 6. So our defense shut them down after that very first play of the game. At halftime, the head of the ASC officials came in and he said, Coach Allen, what you and your staff have done in less than 6 weeks with these kids is amazing. And, you know, we weren't done, and we had to talk with our kids about, you know, we haven't even played our best football yet, and let's go out and show them Mountaineer football. And second half, we just got on top of them, and our defense kept, you know, shutting them down, and we got up to 38 to, I think, 18. So we had a pretty good lead on them, and then they scored a touchdown and made it 38-25 or whatever that score was at the end, and we were able to hold on. So we're pretty proud of our kids, our resiliency, but being able to play a JV team of that caliber, and, you know, it might be a developmental year, but it's not for us. You know, and their coaches made a comment, well, you guys act like you won the Super Bowl. Well, for us, we did. You know, their JV team last year went undefeated. And, they're playing, that JV team's playing juniors and seniors every day in practice. A national championship caliber team they're going against every day in practice. I only have freshmen and some sophomores, mainly freshmen. So we're going freshman on freshman. And their young guys are going against juniors and seniors well established. So, iron sharpens iron. So they were getting better every day in practice. So it was great to see our kids fight and win that game.
What was the bus ride home like?
Oh, everybody was real happy, but, it's a 24-hour rule for our kids. Enjoy the victory, but, it's time to go back to work and focus on the fundamentals and master the mundane. And that's what we do.
What was the post-game meal going home?
The post-game meal is always pizza. It's easy.
It's always pizza?
Always pizza on the way home. It's the easiest thing to buy. For $7 a kid, I can give each kid a large pizza.
How many boxes of pizza?
I ordered 100.
By the way, I'm all full on cheese curds here because I had cheese curds before we went on.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that cheese curds existed till I went to Wisconsin.
Right.
And I lived there for 24 years. And so now I love them.
Right.
So if you're here at Ringo's, come on by.
Yeah, get you some. I mean, they got a lot of great food.
Yeah, they got the wings, but get the cheese curds too. And they're fantastic. And again, we'll be here until 8 o'clock. Virtually every Wednesday. We weren't here last weekend because we had a volleyball game. And we'll be talking and showing some of the volleyball highlights from that game a little bit later. So you look at some of your statistics. 541 yards offense. I mean, dang.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 games, we've scored 90 some odd points in 2 games. 97 in 2 games. So, offensively, we're moving the ball really well. Isaac Ponce is doing a great job. You're actually going to be speaking with Andrew Castillo a little bit later, our receiver who scored 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
So, we're doing some really good things on both sides of the football, and it's exciting to see. And hopefully some guys can come because this next Monday we play in Seguin.
Yes.
Which is just a hop, skip, and a jump from Kerrville. So I'm hoping we have a good contingency from Kerrville and our San Antonio families make it out to Seguin this Monday.
Yeah, that'll be a Monday game against the TLU developmental team. Game will start at 5 o'clock in Seguin on Monday. So you mentioned Isaac Ponce, the quarterback. My goodness, 25 of 36, 286 yards and 2 TDs.
Right.
What are you seeing from him?
He's played in this offense before as a high school senior and high school junior.
Where did he go to high school?
Brazoswood.
Okay.
So the head coach from Brazoswood and I actually are friends. And so when I got here, Isaac went to North American University. And they shut down their football program. So he was looking for a place to go. And so he's one of our 6 sophomore transfers on our team.
Yeah.
And, he's figuring things out and starting to trust the process and the system. So he's maturing like he should as a sophomore quarterback. So we really knew we were going to probably try to take a sophomore transfer quarterback for this year. And he's really stepped up for us.
It's always good to have high school friends, isn't it? That they can tell you, I got this kid that you might want to look at.
Well, and that's, again, why I hired the coordinators I hired. 2 head coaches that are 15-plus years head coaching experience in the state of Texas. Yeah. So, there's a method to our madness, but, fired up about getting back on the field because the way this schedule works is we have a bye about every week. Every other week we have a bye. So we're playing Texas Lutheran this Monday. Then we have fall break. And then we made a change on the 20th. We're now playing Howard Payne's developmental team. So we had a 2-year program scheduled, but, it wasn't going to work out for us. So we ended up playing, now we're going to go play Howard Payne. So another ASC team, we get to go to their facilities and check it out.
Christian Laura, your running back, gets a lot of carries in this offense. He had 25 carries for 117 yards and 2 TDs. Not an especially big guy, but obviously he's being effective.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if they can see the whole and understand the concepts, they don't have to be gigantic kids. They just got to be workhorses. We talked about workhorse over show horse every day, and, our running back, our backfield's a bunch of workhorses. Nobody's going to showboat. Everybody's just going to go and run hard and get 4 to 5 yards of carry and do it again.
Let's see. The defense only gave up 70 yards rushing. I mean, you gave up 25 points, but only 70 yards rushing. You got to love that.
Well, but here's the deal. Here's where stats get confusing. All right, we gave up 25 points, right? First play of the game. Yeah. Take that off the table. Yeah. So now we're at 17. Pick 6. Take that off the table. Now we're at 10.
Yeah.
They blocked a punt on the 6-yard line. We held them to a field goal.
Okay.
So take that off the field. They only drove the field one time on us the entire night to score a touchdown. Everything else was us spotting points. You know, the out and up on the first play of the game, our kid fell down. We can't take that away from us, but, you know, the pick six isn't on the defense. Holding them to a blocked punt on the 6-yard line, holding them to 3 points, that's a win in any defense coordinator's book.
Yeah.
So you look at our defense after the first play of the game, lights out football. The offense didn't help them any, but, you know, we didn't convert on 2 4th and 1s.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't convert on a 4th and goal where our H-back dropped the ball in the end zone.
Okay.
So the game could have been a lot different, but, you know, anybody could say that too.
Are you surprised that they're making this kind of progress this quick? I know you think they can, but they seem to be doing. Are they doing it quicker than you thought they would?
You know, I didn't really have any idea of when things would happen. I just trusted our process that we've got to develop a team, spend a ton of not of money, but a ton of time on developing the character of the team, spending time in what we call our winner's manual. You know, 19 characteristics of a winner in our core values. So we spend probably more time, and this is what I did at my other colleges, more time on character development probably than most schools. And especially at a young program where they're all freshmen and there's a lot of learning going on, that probably matters more than the physical development right off the bat. Because once they gel to become a team, once the chemistry is right, and you've seen this in basketball teams, the ones that have great chemistry, things start to click. When the chemistry's not there, it doesn't matter how good the players are. It never clicks.
Oh, I've seen both. I've seen good chemistry and I've seen bad chemistry.
Right. And no matter what, it ends up showing itself on the field one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, and these kids hang out together. It's amazing to see our kids hang out, like, and not offense and defense, just our players are out doing everything, hanging out together. So I'm probably most impressed about how they bought into the culture. The X's and O's, that's going to take time no matter what. Them learning how to run a practice, them learning what our expectations are on every drill, but they are meeting those expectations every day. And, you know, like how much community service they're doing for us without batting an eye. You know, the little Monty programs at the elementaries. The other day for lunch, we were at the Croc Center. So I had 8 players and a couple of coaches serving lunches, plated meals, you know, and I told them all, like, look, don't blame us if we don't do a great job because that's not what we do, but we will do the best. So we served the food as fast as we could and topped the waters and the teas off. And, you know, that's what we want this community to see, that, you know, we're bringing in kids that are going to be servant leaders and tie into the community and win a few football games too. So.
Well, and that's promoting the program. This is new. You know, you haven't played football since 1957, so to get them out in the community and have people see them,
right?
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, you know, you've got to win in a multitude of ways. And in a startup program, I think I've said this to you before, you know, there's 2 ways to win, right? Everybody loves 2 people, winners and beginners. So we're beginners right now, and now we're starting to win a little bit, you know, and we got to teach them to win everywhere. Win in the classroom, win in the community, win in the dorms, win in the cafeteria. Now win on the field. It's a mindset. Win at everything you do. And that's kind of what we harp on about.
By the way, your players were here a couple of weeks ago when we did this, and they were out on the patio out there, and they told me that they, by the end of the night, they ran out of wings.
Yeah, they've run out of wings a couple of times here. So I think our kids will filter in here tonight, but I also told them make sure you go into the cafeteria where you've already paid for it and eat your dinner there too. So, but they're great kids.
You know, I know coaches put a lot of work into what you do. You put a lot of hours into the game plan and the practice, and that's just part of the job.
Right.
There are coaches, and the reason I want to ask this, I want your opinion on this. There are some coaches that don't balance life very well. Jimmy Johnson, when he was with the Cowboys, just basically lived at the office. And I got to know his son, Brent, because we played pickup basketball together. He was living in Dallas. And we got to talking sometimes about that. And Brent said his dad wasn't around enough, and even Jimmy Johnson later admitted that he didn't balance his life very well. Your guy, Tom Landry, always told his assistant coaches, go home for dinner. Go home, and if you need to look at film at home, do it at home. He gave them whatever they needed to do that. But he said, go home and be with your family. How do you balance that?
You know, I don't know if there's such thing as life works balance, because at the end of the day, if you want to be successful in anything, it's going to take time, energy, and money, right?
Right.
And when I was younger, and it was just me and my wife, I worked a lot. I was at the office all the time. And then when we had a family, I was the head coach at Southwest Baptist, and my son was going into first grade. And then she looked at me and said, "Do you want to be a coach or a dad?" I was like, "Well, I really want to be both." And so we ended up, I left college to go to the high school ranks. And then last year, he was a senior in high school. And my wife said, "Okay, you can go do what you want now, because we'll be empty nesters." And so I took this job, because in the college game, unlike the pros or high school, there's year-round recruiting. The pros, they have a whole department that does all that for you. So the coaches just get a coach. Well, my staff, we've got to evaluate film. We got to call recruits, call coaches. We got to get ready for the game this week. We got to make sure our kids are going to school, going to class, make sure their grades are good, make sure they're going to study hall, staying out of trouble. So it's a lot of time.
So you're a dad to 100 kids.
What's that?
You're a dad to 100 kids.
100%. Yeah, I mean, and the unique thing about here compared to where I was at was these kids are 2-3 hours away from home, so they can go home over the weekends. In Missouri, it was a 7-8 hour drive, so we had to take care of the kids over the weekend. So like Thanksgiving, Easter, all those breaks, that we took care of our players. So it is 101, 110 kids on your team that are your kids that, these parents have entrusted us to take care of them.
Talking to Keith Allen, head football coach at Schreiner University. I'm getting the signal to break, but I just want to ask one other thing. Football is a game of rhythm where you play every week. Now, when you're not playing every week, how do you keep that rhythm going, and how do you make it fun to practice? Because sometimes practice isn't fun.
Well, a couple of things. Like I was telling the guys when I walked in here, it's Monday in my mind because we play on Monday. Yeah. So I'm used to a Saturday schedule. So it's T-5. We got a game in 5 days. So in normal college football, it's Monday, right? So in my mind, it's Monday, even though it's Wednesday and we're here. So that's how I keep my schedule straight, is when is game day and work T-0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So the bye weeks, what we've been doing is we have some fundamental practices. We let our young guys that aren't getting a lot of reps in games, we have what we call a thud bowl or a scrimmage.
Okay.
OTIs, opportunity improves. Yeah. And then we do challenges throughout practice all the time. So we'll blow the whistle, put the ball down, and say, offense, you got to get a first down. Defense, you got to stop them. 3 plays to get a first down. So today we did get a first down, and then we did, best 2 out of 3 on 2-point conversions. So we have to do competitions. And sometimes it's football competitions, like a situation, right? And then sometimes it's, all right, let the big kids catch a punt. And, defense and offense, pick 3 big kids, line them up, and who's going to catch the punts. Yeah. So you got to find a way to compete, and sometimes you want to do it more football specific, but if you keep practice moving really fast and tempo, you can get a lot of stuff done so it doesn't get so mundane. Because where you get bored is not when you're doing the reps, it's when you're standing waiting to take your rep.
Right.
So we don't do a lot of coaching on the field. We do a lot of coaching with film. Okay. So we film everything, and so in the meetings is probably where they get a little bored because we're correcting them on the meetings.
Yeah.
But you're right though. To keep it from being mundane is challenges, sudden changes is what we call them. Where we'll do something on the fly, and the kids aren't ready for it, and we see how fast they adjust.
Well, again, they've got another game Monday, and it will be in Seguin at 5:00, and they'll be trying to go 3-0. So, and we're going to talk with some of your players here next. We'll be doing that. Bill Raleigh, the athletic director, will join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll have Carl Davis from the Aviation School coming up. My father-in-law was a commercial airline pilot for 30 years. I've always been fascinated by flight. You can come to Kerrville, you can go to Schreiner, and you can become a pilot. You'll get your pilot license. They'll tell you how to fly.
Carl and his staff do a fantastic job with this program because we have a lot of kids that probably wouldn't have come to Schreiner to play football, but they can come to Schreiner, live in the hill country, play football, and get their aviation degree. Yeah. There's not a lot of universities out there that can offer those things.
No, it really is. It's a unique thing. And we'll talk to Carl Davis. He's heading up the aviation program a little bit later. And then we've got some volleyball highlights from last week, and we're going to keep you up to date on that volleyball game. It's a match, actually. I call it a game, but I'm supposed to call it a match. I'm still learning volleyball. I love it, but anyway, They're playing in Georgetown tonight against Southwestern. They were up 2-0 going to the third set. We'll get a score here during the break and update you as they try to win their 6th game in a row. Keith Allen, thank you. We'll talk to your players, and we'll be back in just a minute on the Schreiner Coaches Show. All right, welcome back to Ringo's here in Kerrville. This is the Schreiner Coaches Show. We'll be here most Wednesdays, and we'll be here next Wednesday. You know, Ringo's, they're right there on Junction Highway. Ringo's on the river. Come in, they've got, during our show, dollar wings. They got all the cold drinks you want, including cold beer. And they've got the Mountaineer burger on the menu. It's a meat patty with blue cheese crumbles, Swiss cheese, then lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, whatever you want. The Mountaineer burger, it's on the menu. Come on in, and we'll be here until 8 o'clock. And by the way, update on the volleyball match in Schreiner. 18-15, Schreiner is up, third set, having won the first 2 sets. And so we'll keep you posted on that. We might have a Mountaineer win before we're done. They will be finished probably before we're done at 8 o'clock, and we hope the Mountaineers can pick up another win. Ted Davis with you here at Ringo's, and we're joined now by Andrew Castillo, wide receiver for the Schreiner Mountaineers football team. So tell me about the 2-0 start, your reaction to your team being 2-0.
I think it's expected from us. You know, we put some hard work in the first 2 weeks. Didn't know the whole group, but I mean, we really clicked really fast, and I definitely think that, you know, it's well deserved, the 2-0 start. Yeah.
Are you a freshman?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
what's it like to be away from home for the first time?
I kind of like it. I like the independence. I like the being on my own. Luckily, you know, a few of my buddies from my hometown, they came with me to Schreiner. So I'm rooming with one of my buddies. So it was easy to get into the Schreiner and the college lifestyle.
Where's your hometown?
Cypress. It's
Okay,
the Houston area.
From the Houston area. A little bit slower here, isn't it?
A little
pace?
bit. Yeah, sort of. Cypress it's big, but it's definitely very mellow. It's a mellow type of vibe in Cypress.
You like your dorm roommate? You like your roommate in the dorm?
One of my closest buds. We got really close during high school. But yeah, one of my closer
You never
friends.
know who you're going to get matched with in college, so it's good that you get along.
Yeah, for sure.
You're starting something new here. You guys are part of something, building a foundation that hasn't been around since the 50s. I mean, it was way before you were born. So what's that like to be on the ground floor of starting a football program?
I mean, I love it. I love starting from the ground up. You know, it really, it's going to prove to, everyone that, we put in the work, and, we rightfully deserve to be in some conversations for a really good football team. I've only known this group for maybe almost 2 months, and to kind of see where we're at right now, it really shows, even though you're starting from the ground up, as long as you're putting in the work, good things will happen.
By the way, those of you watching in the Lions Den back on campus, thank you for joining us this evening. Let's talk about the win over Mary Hardin Baylor. I was talking to your coach, Keith Allen. So they score on the first play from scrimmage.
yeah, crazy.
And yet, you guys turn it around and win the ball game.
Yeah.
What did that show you about your team?
I mean, showed really, really great resilience. I mean, we could have, tucked our tails between our legs and kind of shut it down for the rest of the game, but we definitely, turned it around and, punched them right in the mouth. we didn't let them, dictate how the game was going to play. We came right back and, we threw some punches.
You're going to go to a American Southwest Conference game on October 11th. I believe it's in Abilene, and it's Hardin-Simmons against Mary Hardin-Baylor. And those are the top two programs in that conference. It's a very good football conference, the American Southwest Conference.
Yeah.
Are you guys looking forward to being able to get a little break from what you're doing and go watch a game that is with two of the contenders in the conference? You looking forward to that?
Well, I honestly didn't even know that was happening. I can't even lie to you. But, yeah, very excited to go watch a game instead of, having to go and travel and play a game and, have the tiredness of the bus. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be great to, go watch a game instead.
What's your major?
Sport management.
Sports management.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do with that?
Eventually, I want to be a coach of some sort.
You want to be a coach?
Yes, sir. High school coach, college coach.
There's a lot of aggravation involved in coaching.
I'm ready for it.
You good at yelling? You got a loud voice?
I can.
Well, congratulations on your start.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on the start of your college career.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You picked a good place to be. I've been here 4 years around Schreiner, and most of the kids that come here like the small classes. And so is that something you've liked so far?
Yeah, I love the small classes. I love the type of engagement that we get. It's very personal with the professors, and all the professors are great. I feel like I'm really learning something here, and I love the whole Schreiner environment. I love the small community.
Yeah.
I love the very tight-knit group. Seems like everyone knows each other. It's a really cool community to be around.
Andrew Castillo is with us, wide receiver
Yes.
from Cyprus. Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
and we
sir.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we're going to have another player in just a minute. I'm not sure who it is. They're going to let me know. But Jared, what's the score? 23-21. Mountaineers are up in the third set. 2 points away from winning it. They're not at match point yet. But Jared's over there watching. Come on, bring him in. We'll trade him out here. Again, we're at Ringo's on the river. And so you're Kobe Fears. Okay, we're going to be joined now by Kobe Fears, another freshman.
Yes,
on
sir.
On the football team. What position do you play?
I play linebacker, inside linebacker.
You're a so, have you played offense in your high school career? Did you play some offense?
Offense, I played like fullback freshman year.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So, you like the prospect of hitting people rather than getting hit.
Yes, sir.
So, where are you from?
I'm from Katy, well, Houston, the Houston area.
Houston area.
Yes, sir.
Katie's got good football there.
Yes, sir. We played a lot of competition in our district, including like Katy, Jordan, like some good schools.
How did your high school team do?
We went 7-4. We made it to the first round in playoffs, and we fell to a really good full-shirt team. They ran that wing tee offense, gave us some problems.
Wing tee is hard to defend.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Because there's so much motion.
Yeah,
And
misdirection. Everybody got to be disciplined and paying attention and really locked in on what's going on.
Your thought? We won? As Jared says, we won. Okay, well that's good. A 3-0 win. Hey, the Mountaineer volleyball team has won 6 in a row now. 11-3 start, the best in school history. Way to go, Jeremiah Tiffin and Hannah Thrasher. They go on the road. What did you say? Georgetown was 12-3 coming in. Well, now they're 12-4, and the Mountaineers are now 11-3, having won 6 games in a row. That's another 3-0 win. So I think that's now 8 of their 11 wins have been 3-0 straight sets. So way to go. Your reaction to going up to Mary Hardin-Baylor, playing a very good JV team.
Yes, sir.
Mary Hardin-Baylor is one of the best Division III programs in the country.
Yes, sir.
We just talked to Andrew here. So you're playing defense.
Yes, sir.
First play of the game, they go all the way.
Yeah.
What were you thinking at that point?
Well, I looked back. I seen them. They had some really good receivers. I feel like they're a very good coach. We went on the sideline. I feel like we reeled our defense back in. We had a conversation. We was either gonna fold. Our coach teaches us all the time, bend, don't break. So I feel like that play, it really tested us. And, you know, it could have either went two ways. And I felt like after that, we shut them out until the fourth quarter. So we did a great job at responding. And
Kobe Fears is with us, linebacker for the Mountaineer football team. What was it about this opportunity at Schreiner? New program, they didn't have any history
Yes,
of
sir.
football, and yet here you are. What led you here?
I feel like that's what intrigued me, which is like building something great. You know, like up until 2 months ago, I didn't know anybody's name lining up on the right or left of me. And, you know, we had a very successful fall camp, I feel like, and we really got to know each other. And I don't know, just building that aspect, you know, coaches came to us. We had very good recruits, and it's just about building something special, you know, leaving a legacy. Like we're starting this. So like, it's special to me. Like, we'll be able to look down the line 10 years from now and say, like, we contributed to this great program.
Same question for you. You're a freshman, right?
Yes, sir.
So away from mom and dad for the first time, is that
Yes,
going
sir.
okay?
Yeah, it's going all right. I missed home a few, but yeah, it's going
Brothers and
pretty-
sisters, you have?
Yeah, I'm actually a triplet. So
Oh, you're a triplet?
Yes, sir.
Well, what are they doing? The
They-
other two?
Yeah, they used to play football, but now they just doing their own thing. They go to college in Houston and Louisiana. So
What are their names?
Caleb and Khalil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
triplets, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's interesting. What's your major?
Exercise science.
Okay, what do you hope to do with that?
I hope to hopefully get a coaching job. I also minor in business. I'm like learning how to like day trade and stuff. So hopefully I can get into that and like, you know, make a successful career. out of
Well, all
it.
right, thanks for talking to us.
Yes, sir.
Kobe Fears, linebacker for the
course.
Mountaineer football team. All right, again, the great news. Mountaineers win. They will be playing this weekend back into conference. And they'll have 3 games this weekend in 2 days on Saturday and the game. Here at Schreiner University, as we've already got a Mountaineer win this evening. It's a good day to be a Mountaineer, and we'll be back after this on the Schreiner Coaches Show.
Here at Schreiner, we offer 4 different nursing programs. And we have our VN program, Vocational Nursing, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, RN to BSN online program, as well as our new Master's in Family Nurse Practitioner track program. We offer small class sizes. In the classroom itself, you'll never have more than 30 students. Here in the sim lab, we always have 1 instructor to 10 students, at least 1 instructor to 10 students, where those instructors are able to build relationships and cater to the unique needs of the students. We have a lot of hands-on practice here in the skills lab. This allows our students to feel more comfortable when they're entering the clinical setting and performing these skills on actual patients.
All right, back at Ringo's on the River. Again, Dollar Wings until 8 o'clock when we've got our coaches show here. We'll be back here next Wednesday. So if you missed it this time, come on out. You know where it is, right on Junction Highway here in Kerrville. My name is Ted Davis. Chris Lee is joining us now. Chris is an assistant football coach here at Schreiner. So what's your specialty? What do you coach?
I coach the cornerbacks on the defense.
Quarterbacks?
Corners, yes, sir.
Cornerbacks on defense. So what did you think when they scored on the first play in Belton?
You know, Coach Hallmark always preaches, you gotta, as a corner, you gotta have short-term memory, like a goldfish.
Yeah.
And it happened. John did a good job of wiping it from his mind and going back out there and giving it all for the rest of the game.
But I was talking to Coach Lee earlier. You only gave up 70 yards rushing, so you turned that thing around.
Yeah, they did a good job of.
And they had a pick 6.
Yep.
So you didn't give up that many points.
No, not necessarily. They did a good job of following the game plan and taking advantage of their weaknesses and just doing their job.
What's your background? Where were you before Schreiner, and what's been your coaching path on your career?
Yeah, so before Schreiner, I was doing recruiting at University of South Florida in Tampa.
Okay.
And then before there, I was a student assistant at FIU in Miami,
Where'd you go to college?
USF,
You-
South Florida.
at Southern Florida?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They're the Bulls, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're with a Division I program.
Yes, sir.
So what led you here to Division III?
Coach Allen was actually my high school head coach when I played high school ball. And I've known Coach since I was a little kid. Him and my dad coached together at San Jose State. So he's been a long time family friend. Him and Miss Allen have been very close to us and been very kind to us. So when he offered me the opportunity, there was no other decision to make than to come out here.
Working out so far, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been great. The guys have been great, and everything. The community's been awesome. Everyone's so kind. And
Chris Lee, assistant coach for the Schreiner Mountaineers. Is this your first time to live in Texas?
yes, sir. This is I spent 1 week in Texas before this. This is my first time being out here. It's some good hospitality out here.
So what do you think of Texas so far?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I called my mom earlier this month when I first got out here, and I was just telling her I've never been in a place where you could just be walking around and everyone's saying good morning, waving. Normally in Florida, they look at you and look the other way. So it's been a change, but it's been great.
You got to learn to say howdy. You got to say y'all.
Yeah.
But you're Southern anyway, so you've already learned to drop your G's a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm fixing to do something,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. What's it like to start a program?
It's been unique. There's obviously, being under Coach Allen, you learn that there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, everywhere else I've been has been like already had years and years under it. So seeing all the background stuff that goes on and everything that you need to get a program started has been really unique. And it's been exciting. It's been really good.
Well, Chris, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it.
Good to meet you for the first time.
Thank you.
And welcome to Texas.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
howdy.
it. Thank you. Howdy.
All right, Chris Lee has joined us. We'll be joined by Bill Raleigh, athletic director, when we come back here on the Schreiner Coaches Show.
With the explosion of the Texas wine industry, we at Schreiner University decided to do something about it. So we started a viticulture program called Vinos dos Colinas. With Vinos dos Colinas, we're providing an education basis around farming and viticulture sciences to allow you to advance your career in the world of grape growing. We're focusing on the practical skills needed to be a vineyard operator. So you'll learn things like irrigation, tractor maintenance, tractor operation, spraying, all the things that you need to know to operate and be a great labor force for the vineyard industry in Texas. At Schreiner University, we fully believe and are committed to helping people find careers and great opportunities.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Bill Raleigh, our athletic director, has joined us. A lot of people think that Bill doesn't have a sense of humor sometimes. And he just said to me before we went on, "How does my hair look?" So you made me laugh, Bill.
I had hair at one point, so I still hold on to it.
Hey, let's talk first of all. We'll talk football, but the volleyball team wins again on the road. Tough place to win at Southwestern, a team that was 12-3. Do it in straight sets. That's their 8th straight set win. This was a program that won 4 games prior to Jeremiah Tiffin and Hannah Thrasher getting here. You got to be pleased with that.
I'm excited. After spending 20 years at Southwestern, anytime we beat them, I'm very happy about that as well. But yeah, Jeremiah has done a great job. When I first got here, we didn't win a game in volleyball. So, and we hosted the conference tournament. So we're hosting the conference tournament this year. I'm holding on for dear life, saying, okay, we're going to get there and be able to make a show of it. I'd love to see us do well in that.
Yeah, they got a 3-0 win against Southwestern. And by the way, yes, I meant to mention that earlier. The SCAC volleyball tournament this year will be hosted by Schreiner. Will be played right there at the event center. It's in mid-November, November 14th and 15th. And come on out. I had never really watched volleyball that much until I got here. It is a fun sport to watch.
It's very entertaining. The women play hard. They love it. The crowd gets into it. It's really, I always laugh because it's also, they because of the net, they can cheer very different. As a former basketball coach, it's taunting when the way some of the stuff they do.
Yeah.
But with a net there, they have fun with it, and they're really fun to watch, and a great group of young women.
Bill Raleigh, athletic director, has joined us. All right, football's back. It's a reality now. You've got this developmental year, but they're playing games, and so there's a scoreboard. Your team's 2-0. What was your reaction to that?
I'm excited about it. More importantly, the coach alluded to it. They're a great group of young men.
Yeah.
They've really handled themselves very well. Been a real great addition. When you add football, the university is going to change, just because 100 more men and all that stuff. And it's really been a seamless transition. They've fit in the university. They've really kind of elevated everything. the winning, that's what you play games for. That's why you have scoreboards, all that stuff. And I'm excited for them. Glad it sure beats losing, but
oh yes.
But more importantly, I think they're doing things the right way, and it's a building process, and that's what we're trying to keep that focus on. Get better this year. Get ready for fall of 26.
1957 was the last time football was played. Did you ever think football would come back?
No.
Yeah.
But I got to give Dr. McCormick a lot of credit for taking this risk. It's, people don't realize it's not like opening any other sport. It is a major undertaking. The cost just to get started is incredible. I had been through it one time before, and I don't know, when I was at Southwestern, we added football, and I was part of that, and I saw how it affected the university, how it changed things for the good. I was a basketball coach when it started, and I didn't pay as much attention to how much work it is to do, but I think it's been great. It's been a great addition, and it's kind of really raising everybody else.
Eventually, you want to have a stadium on campus, but to be able to play at Antler Stadium, that's a bonus.
That stadium is it'd be one of the best stadiums these kids will play in at any Division III school.
Yeah.
So having that as an asset, having only a one high school town is a tremendous asset for us. And then, the Eddington complex and that weight room is fantastic. Is one of the best Division III weight rooms in the state, and it's only going to get better and better. We're really have a lot of momentum going in the right direction, and it's a fun process.
It's a big job to be an athletic director because you've got to oversee all the programs, all the coaches. It can be frustrating at times. What's the reward for you?
I've always tried to focus on it. These kids have 4 years. These students have 4 years to play their sport. They're, as I said, at some point in the next 4 years, they're going to retire. So our football players are going to end up not playing football sometime in it. Yeah. And I always try to just focus it on making sure they have a good experience. What that means is, just making sure they're able to do what they love to do at the best that they can do it. That's the reward for it. The beauty at this level is it's not the 10,000 people in the stands. It's not NIL deals. It's about kids getting the opportunity to continue doing something they love as they get an education. And then as they go out in the world, they're learning things that are going to help them succeed.
Well, and you were a coach at Georgetown for how long?
15 years.
13 years? Okay, now you coached a lot of players. When you see them again, and now they're grown, have jobs, maybe have families and kids, and are doing well, that has to be satisfying to you, doesn't it?
Well, every summer I get a picture from the first group with University of Dallas in 1996.
Okay.
My first recruiting class. And it used to be the 5 of them, and they'd get together in the summertime and send me a picture. Then it was girlfriends, and then spouses.
Yeah.
Now it's kids.
Yeah.
So the great thing is those 5 guys never would have gotten together if we hadn't brought them together. The bad news is, as their kids now are starting to turn teenagers, it puts reality of how old I am now, and it never stops. But that's what you do this for. It's not the wins and losses. They're great. It's part of the fun. I heard Coach Allen talk about it. It's not, this is an addiction. Coaching and doing this it's not, you don't do it for the wins. You do it to help kids get better, help kids learn things. And some of the ones that I hear the most from are some of the ones that I had to discipline very hard or do stuff to, that they appreciate the fact that they got straightened out in this process.
The toughest guy that I ever worked for, and one of the meanest guys I ever worked for in broadcasting, made me a better broadcaster. Because I had to.
Yeah, because you had to get to that level and then figure it out. So
yeah, I had to grow up is what I had to do. Bill Raleigh, athletic director, has joined us. At Schreiner, they have a very unique program that you can take advantage of. It's an aviation program. You can come to Schreiner, learn how to fly a plane, and Carl Davis heads that up, and I want to talk to him next as we'll be back on the Schreiner Coaches and Pilots Show after this on SchreinerMountaineers.com.
Let me tell you, here at Schreiner, one of the things we bring to the table are those smaller classrooms. The ability for the professors and the instructors to get to know you personally, understand how you learn, and work with you to get you through these programs and make you a professional. One of the things I tell every freshman class is Airlines do not hire co-pilots. They do not hire pilots. They hire future captains. And that's what we strive to do here at Schreiner, is arm you with the capabilities to go out someday and be the captain of an airliner, the captain of a corporate jet, ready to make the tough decisions and lead your flight to a safe conclusion every time.
All right, back at Ringo's on the River. We've got a few more minutes. We'll be here next Wednesday at 7 o'clock for our Schreiner Coaches Show. And hello to everybody back on campus, back at the Lions Den. Some of you may be in this program. It's the Aviation program at Schreiner University, and Carl Davis is the man heading that up. And so I just want to know, how long has this program been at Schreiner, and how did it come about?
That's a great question. Thank you, Ted. Great question. We just started the beginning of our third school year, so we're still really new at this game as far as being a university aviation program. I think it was probably in people's minds around the Hill Country for the better part of 10 years, and it just took a few things lining up, the industry showing a desperate need for people to work there, and opportunities that just presented themselves at the right time, and the leadership said, hey, you think we can put this together?
You were here at Kerrville doing something else, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah, I actually had retired after a career, and failed retirement when they asked me if I wanted to be involved with this, so I jumped back out and got involved.
All right, so explain what you can do here. You come here, you'll learn how to fly, you'll take off, you'll land, you'll do the whole thing.
Absolutely.
With the goal of having your pilot's license when you leave. And there are all kinds of opportunities. There are military, there can be commercial pilots, there can be corporate pilots, all kinds of opportunities, aren't there?
Exactly. The idea of our program is we're going to train you to be a professional pilot.
Yeah.
You're going to come out of here with more knowledge than someone who goes maybe just strictly to a flight school to go out into the flying world. There are, as you said, so many opportunities out there now. The airlines are literally short of pilots. When the airlines are short of pilots, that means all the corporate ranks are short because people are leaving the corporations. It means the military is struggling for pilots because everybody's trying to leave the military. So there's opportunities galore throughout the industry.
My father-in-law was a commercial airline pilot for about 30 years, started with Texas International in Houston.
Yeah.
Then when they merged with Continental, he went with them, eventually moved to the left seat, became a captain. Took him a while. You were a commercial pilot for how long?
I flew for Delta for 7 years, and then I ended up working for the Boeing company for 17 after that.
So you were a corporate, a commercial pilot for a long time too.
Yes,
Yeah.
my father was a pilot for Delta for 35 years, so it was in the stars what was going to happen to me.
When the program starts, what do you do? Are you in simulators first? Where do you start them?
That's a great question. So my philosophy is I want you flying airplanes week one.
Okay.
So when you walk in the door, we're going to put you in our classroom. We're going to talk to you about how we fly the airplane, but I want to cement that knowledge as fast as I can by getting you in the airplane using that knowledge as quickly as I can. So right out the chute, you're doing that. I want to send you home at Christmas with your private pilot license in your pocket.
Okay. And then when do they get in the plane? You said the first week you want to put them in a plane.
Yeah.
Now, when do they land? When do you teach them to land right off?
Initially, what we're going to do is teach them how to control the plane, climbs, descents, turns, so that they get a feel for how to maneuver the airplane around the airport. We'll culminate that probably around hour 10. We really start working on landings at that point. Up to that point, the instructor's probably been doing it mostly. But the expectation is you'll solo in there between 10 and 20 hours most often. And now you're doing it all yourself.
Now, you said that this program is in its third year.
Yes.
So you've got kids that have been here for 3 years now.
Yep.
So they've got to be pretty good pilots by now, don't they?
Absolutely. I've got one who just finished up her flight instructor ratings. I've got a bunch right now working on their commercial licenses, working on instrument ratings, I've got a new group working on their private pilot. 2 of those young people are football players, as a matter of fact.
So Do you have a fleet of planes? Where do you get the planes?
Where do we get the planes? We partnered with a flight school out of the Dallas area that has done with a few other schools. It's their airplanes, but our logo's on the airplane. We're using their instructors for the near term and their airplanes to fly with our students. So it allowed us to get going very quickly because we didn't have to go acquire aircraft. We didn't have to do those kind of things. We could just basically get the students on campus and start flying that first year.
And you use the airport out here, right?
Right here at Kerrville, and same place I learned to fly over 40 years ago.
So at what point do they solo and do the whole thing themselves with no instructor, no nothing?
Yeah, that's, we hope in there around hour 15 to 20. Some go longer, some can do it a little shorter. The key is it's not a race, it's when are you confident and ready to do it. That's when we're going to let you out there and go do it.
Do you remember your first solo?
I still do.
Scared to death?
I remember just as I broke ground, saying to myself, well, Davis, now you've done it. You got to get this thing back on the ground by yourself. I still remember that thought. So, yes, it's something that'll never leave me.
Very relieved when you landed and you went, whew,
well, it got to the point where then I was critiquing myself and I thought, okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So
I'm a big Tom Petty fan, and he's got a song called Learning to Fly.
Yeah.
You heard the song?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And a lot of people thought that song was about something else because at the time Tom Petty was going through he had to go to rehab, let me put it that way. And they thought that's what it was. He later said, no, he was trying to learn how to fly. He was taking flying lessons. And he goes, the coming down is the hardest part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's the old story. We try to keep the takeoffs and landings count equal, right? That's always the goal.
My father-in-law said what he loved about flying is when, first of all, you're in control of the plane, and you're flying above everything, and it's calm and quiet up there. Did you get that feeling?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a different level of satisfaction. I think you just realize that you've been able to put this machine where it's supposed to be, and now you're kind of at one with the universe as you fly along.
Carl Davis is heading up the aviation program at Schreiner. If people are listening to this and they're interested, how do they get in touch with you? How do they get this thing going? Like, you got a high school kid or something that says, that's fun, I'd like to do that.
So certainly on the website, schreiner.edu, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see our aviation logo. You can click on that. That'll get you to our page. There's a link to set up an interview with me if you want to talk more about the program. You're certainly welcome to just set up an interview on campus, come take a tour of the campus, and tell them you want to see the aviation facilities. I do my best to meet up with all the parents who want to learn more about the program because this is a big financial commitment. Certainly understand that. And answer any questions you got. I'll do my best. My contact information is on the website as well.
Schreiner.edu. Schreiner.edu. Well, look it up, kids, if you want to do this. What a fun class, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's one of those where, as we described, it's the equivalent of trying to eat an elephant, and how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? There are days where it's a lot. There's a lot of new things to learn. And I think the other thing that sets it apart is the level of responsibility and accountability goes up very quickly because now all of a sudden when you're operating the airplane by yourself, it's you. And that's kind of sets a different tone than maybe some other degrees or that early in your college career.
How many schools have an aviation program like this?
I would venture to say north of 50, probably.
Okay, more than I thought.
Yeah, the fun fact is, at least when I was still working at Boeing and doing speeches on this thing, there's still not enough flight schools in that if we had all the flight schools putting out 100% capacity, we still wouldn't produce enough pilots for the airlines right now.
Yeah.
So even with all those numbers, the pilots are still needed.
How many are in Texas of the flight schools?
I think back of the napkin math, I'm going to say somewhere in the vicinity of 10.
Yeah.
We've got a few schools. Texas State just started. They started a year behind us. Angelo State's got one. and a couple of the community colleges in the Houston and Dallas area have them as well.
Being in the NBA, I flew about 50,000 miles a year. I mean, I was in a plane 50,000 miles a year for 33 years. I was always amazed that we didn't have many incidents.
Yeah.
And so my father-in-law used to say, we're not really important until we have to be. In other words,
Absolutely.
when you got to, we came in one time with a really bad wind, and the pilots were struggling to get it down. That's when the pilot has to be good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the interesting things about the job is going hours and hours with everything working great. When I was flying professionally for the airlines, we used to say you can expect one red light a year, i.e. one bad thing, one opportunity to do your job, quote unquote. The rest of the time, it pretty much works as advertised, and that's the goal. The tough part is, as humans, we don't do a great job waiting on something to happen.
Yeah.
And so as a pilot, you learn techniques to be ready when that kind of thing happens. And it goes back to your discussion of simulators. We use that tool a lot to be prepared.
All right, Carl, interesting. I'm glad we had you on.
Thank you very much.
And again, if you're interested in learning how to fly, sometimes it's not even to go become a commercial pilot. Just learn how to fly because it's fun. So,
Absolutely.
Carl Davis, Schreiner.edu. Carl, thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
All right. Before we wrap it up, the volleyball team won again tonight. This is their 6th win in a row. They won at Southwestern. Last week they had 2 home games. And so Friday evening we did the game against Concordia. They won in 3 sets like they did tonight. And we're going to show you a few highlights from that game because this was in the 3rd set. It was 8-6, Schreiner up 2, and all of a sudden the Mountaineers go on a run. And this is the kind of action you'll see if you come to see the volleyball team here at home this year. And Jared Hyman's going to roll that right now, and then we'll wrap it up. Jared, hit it. With a win tonight, the Mountaineers will take sole possession of first place in the Gold Division. They'll be 3-0. Nice block at the net. Riley Jones. 9-6 Mountaineers. Hilliard will finish it. The power of these shots by the Mountaineers this season is very impressive. Of course, you don't have to handle Trinity in this conference anymore, and Hilliard again. Wow. Man, I would not be trying to handle that. Hilliard does it again. Oh, man. Whew. She may end up being the best volleyball player ever at Schreiner. Gianna Hilliard just gets better and better. Monaco with the tap at the net. Mountaineers keep it alive. Wilburn with the shot. Hilliard. Man, is she on a roll in this 3rd set or what? Almaraz takes it across, and that's a service ace to end it. That is a punctuation mark on the Mountaineers' 5th win in a row. 10-3 record continues to be the best start in school history. And they have never started 3-0 in conference play. So they, at the moment, have the lead in the Gold Division at 3-0. Colorado College at 2-0. And St. Thomas at 2-0. So there we are. That's how the Mountaineers wrapped it up on Friday night. They won tonight 3-0 against Southwestern. They will play this weekend 3 more conference games in a round robin in Seguin. They will play Centenary at 11:30 on Saturday morning, Laterno at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon, so 2 games on Saturday, and then Ozarks at noon on Sunday in Seguin. Texas Lutheran is hosting. So 3 more conference games. Are off to a 3-0 start. Women's soccer and men's soccer will be home on Friday and Sunday. Women will play Laterno at 5 o'clock on Friday. Men's soccer will play Laterno at 7. Then they'll play again on Sunday against Austin College with the women at noon and the men at 2. And don't forget, before you know it, basketball will be here. Both the men's and women's will open their season on November 7th on the road at Howard Payne, about a week away. All right, that's our show. Volleyball 1, good day to be a Mountaineer. We will be back at Ringo's next Wednesday. Join us again at 7 o'clock. Dollar wings, cold beer, good food. Ringo's on the river. We'll be back next time. Thanks to Jared Hyman, Michael Bennett, all the guests we had. Until next time, I'm Ted Davis. See ya on the Schreiner Sports Network.